Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to my channel, Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very, very much. Those of you that are interested in supporting me, you can go over to patreon.com and fill out for a subscription. You get the daily forecast a day early. There's also special readings over there that are only available over there. So that is available to you. Other ways you can support the channel, like, share of the videos, comment on them, book a private reading with me through my Facebook business page, like and follow my Facebook business page or my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I go live. And this is for Sunday, the 14th of June through the 20th. It is not only sort of the way that the Sunday readings work is they're a little bit more extensive, but what they do is they sort of set up the energy for Sunday and then kind of underpin the energy throughout the week. So it gives us a little insight into what we're looking at for the week as a greater collective, but also, it's sort of the setup for Sunday. Now, some of you guys might experience some of these cards. You might experience all of these cards. Each card is to represent about a day or two of the week for the overall energy that we're all kind of experiencing and going through. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to experience all of this. You might be on a different trajectory, so it's not a bad thing or a wrong thing. Just take what you need and sort of leave the rest kind of thing. Okay? And let's get into this and see what's going on. And the video is timeless. If you're watching this during a time when it shows up in your Facebook, autoplay feature and it's not June 14th through the 20th, don't worry. There's usually, I trust that spirit and, whatever the message that comes through in the cards is coming from a good, beneficial place. Therefore, the reading or message should be timeless and maybe apply to your given situation at the time that you're seeing it. All right, so let's see what's going on here. What do we have going on? It's interesting, the last 2 weeks in June, the last 2 Saturdays, we've only had 2 Saturdays, we end with the Fool. If the Fool shows up next Saturday, I'm sure that this deck is possessed. But it feels like, again, that Fool energy from yesterday is saying, okay, we get to start over. A new week almost is what I was thinking about last night. Because I was like, that's so odd that the Fool keeps showing up on Saturdays. What's that about? And I was kind of feeling like the renewal of the new week and a new sort of, journey is about to begin each week almost. It felt like is what I was hearing, at least. I don't know if that is indeed accurate, but let's see what we've got going on for the week. What do we need to know? All right. Oh, it's that Eight of Swords again. Interesting. So it's overcoming fears, self-entrapment, guys. This is usually depicted by that woman that's blindfolded, surrounded by swords, and what she doesn't realize is that there's a way out. So in traditional tarot, that's kind of the imagery with this card. So to me, when we're looking at overcoming fears and self-entrapment, I think that we might be beginning out the week feeling a little bit like stuck, or not knowing which way to go. Mentally, we might feel a little bit of anguish or distress, anxiety maybe even around making a decision, or maybe not wanting to make a decision for fear of making the wrong decision. That could be this energy with this card. And then again, you have to apply these meanings to wherever they fit in your life. This could be a decision around work or a relationship, and that can be romantic or platonic, but whatever it is, it's sort of this idea of feeling a little bit unsure of which direction to go. I do feel like this is a good card, though. For some reason, when I'm looking at this card right now, it feels like these swords are all rising to me. They feel like they're all, even though it looks like the hilts are pointed down here, but to me, they feel like they're moving upward. Like there is an upward mobility that I'm feeling from this card. I don't know why, but it feels like they're whooshing upwards as I'm looking at it. So I feel like there's an opportunity here in this anxiety or in this feeling of being stuck to maybe move ourselves forward in some way, but we have to be willing to make that choice or that decision mentally. We have to be willing to sort of maybe take that blindfold off that you would see in the traditional tarot reading and move forward, sort of living with the decisions of our choices, living with, the ramifications of our outcomes, that kind of a thing. It's like no matter what, we need to sort of believe that we're going to be okay, regardless of whatever decision we choose to make in the early part of the week around. And I feel like this is not like something small. This is something that has been bothering you guys for a while. And so, this might be that covering that we saw in the Fool yesterday, kind of that idea of still feeling like sort of in the dark or not knowing which way to go, which route to take, that sort of an energy. But I do feel like it is an opportunity to sort of mull things over, think things out, hopefully find balance and be able to make that choice or decision to sort of free yourself to move forward, to move on to bigger and better things. Now, the next card is the Four of Pentacles or the Four of Rings. This is conservation and practicality. So whatever doubt we feel in this Eight of Swords, this Four of Pentacles to me feels like we're setting something up to, to like the practicality part of it is very earth energy. Pentacles deals with earth. The earth energy is sort of slow. This could be about protecting oneself. This could be about grounding oneself. This is about sort of effectively creating a plan and moving forward in a practical, kind of balanced or stable sort of way, as stable as you can get it. I feel like in the midweek, this Four of Pentacles energy will feel nice and secure in comparison to that Eight of Swords. But I feel like in some ways, I feel like this Four of Pentacles might be, I don't know why I want to say this, but faking it till we make it. Like, it's that baby steps card that we saw at the beginning of last week's reading. It's that idea of sort of taking things in smaller bites or smaller portions, moving at not a slower pace, but at a more moderate pace or a more practical pace so that we feel secure. But we will move. I do feel like this Four of Pentacles is a slower energy just in general because it's earth-based energy, but I feel like it's based in sort of intelligence, well, I wouldn't say intelligence, because sometimes earth energy can be a little bit doofy, but it's going to be measured, let's say that. It's going to be a little bit cautious, I feel like, when I'm looking at this, especially with this Eight of Swords here. To me, it's sort of like there's this idea of feeling trapped or making the wrong decision, the fear of making the wrong decision. So by midweek, we will be moving forward, but we'll be moving forward in maybe small increments or small steps forward. I hope that this card brings about whatever it is we're looking for. Does that make sense? But it's sort of like, I feel like with this mountain range here and this mountain range here, it's like we see the troubles behind us, but we also can see the troubles ahead, or we're worried about the troubles ahead. We might be creating troubles ahead. That might be some of this Eight of Swords energy too. So some of us might find ourselves still sort of guarded in a way. Like the Four of Pentacles is also a very guarded card. It can sometimes be like being not greedy per se, but like holding on to something so tightly because you don't know, who's trying to take it or what's going to happen. I don't get that feeling though. It's funny, when I look at these two cards, I feel movement. I feel upward movement with these swords. I also feel forward movement with these four rings, like they're sort of like trailing off, going this way, heading from this mountain range or whatever struggle this was. They're sort of trying to move forward with clarity as best they can. And there might be something ahead that is fearful for you guys or that is worrisome for you guys. And this could be anything, right? This could be financial worry. This could be COVID worries. This could be, relationship worries. I don't know what your worry is. You have to apply that. But to me, this mountain range feels like something that's on the horizon that you guys are maybe looking at, worrying about. It might not even be real. You haven't even gotten there yet, is the funny thing. It's kind of how I feel. It's like you're being so practical in this Four of Pentacles energy that it's like you almost could be manifesting it or heading right towards it because you're so busy worrying about it. Does that make sense? So keeping that in mind, even though we're trying to be practical or grounded and move slowly and calmly, or making our decisions in a slow and calm, sort of logical manner, be mindful of where we're placing our worry or our attention. Are we here in the present moment, or are we out here wondering on the horizon, like, oh shit, when is the next thing going to happen? Or what am I going to do if this goes wrong? What am I going to do if that goes wrong? That's sort of also this Eight of Swords energy of feeling entrapped by your own sort of thoughts, situation, whatever, and then like relating to it in such a way that it feels like it's got you stuck. It doesn't completely have you stuck. By midweek, you will start to move forward in a very methodical, sort of practical way, but also keep mind on the fact that you don't want to hold on to things so tightly or be so focused on what went wrong in the past and what could potentially go wrong in the future that you're not in the present moment. Does that make sense? Now, the third card for the end of the week, interesting, is the Eight of Cups. And this is new direction, walking away. So to me, Cups is an emotional card. So we have like three of the four elements. It represents the water, right? And Cups is the element of water. We have the element of air in the Swords card. We have the element of earth in the Pentacles or Rings card. And then we have the emotions at the end of the week. To me, this new direction and this, and we also have two eights, which is interesting. To me, I feel like this Eight of Cups offers this opportunity for clarity. I feel like it offers this opportunity for new beginnings. It says that on the card, obviously, but the sun here to me speaks to this idea of moving towards something unhindered, being able to sort of see it. It almost feels like, to me, when I look at this card, it feels like a doorway or like maybe a portal. Moving from one chapter into the next. I feel like this doesn't feel emotionally unstable or anything to me. It feels very clear. It feels very concise. That water looks calm. It's sort of like, and for those of you that are needing to walk away from whatever it is you're walking away from, I feel like by the week's end, you'll be sort of ready to do so in a calm and effective manner. Like emotionally, I feel like there might be a settling emotionally that allows you to sort of move forward. Like these cups lined up here to me feel like they're just sort of, your emotions are guiding the way, or just they've cleared the path so that you can move forward in a way where you can let go of these sort of like the troubles of the past and the worries of the future, and just kind of like allow yourself to move forward in calm feelings, in balanced feelings. Eights always represent sort of balance to me. So let's see what the Starseed Oracle has to say. It's like when I look at these three cards, I'm just going to say this as I'm shuffling, I feel like there's just something in our lives, right? And I'm talking to a broad spectrum of people. If this doesn't make sense for you, that's completely okay. But there's something in our lives that we know is not the way it should be. And from a very practical place, we're beginning to move forward, maybe towards something different. Surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Okay. So Venus is the planet of love. To me, I like this card. It feels to me that this is going to be more towards the end of the week. And the reason why is we have this sort of funny pink thing here that reminds me of this sun here. They feel very much in line and in tune with one another. And generally this card is not necessarily an end of the week card. But to me, it feels like that energy of sort of allowing ourselves to relax, allowing ourselves to emotionally feel things, allowing ourselves to maybe walk away from things that are no longer working for us. You know, that this Four of Pentacles energy here about being practical, maybe it's no longer working for us. Maybe we need to look at this practicality issue. It might have us bogged down a little bit. It might have us holding on to something out of duty or honor that isn't necessarily working for us. Mentally, we felt stuck. We're acknowledging that in the beginning of the week. By the midweek, we're feeling sort of the heaviness. There is still forward movement with this Four of Pentacles, but this stability or this slow-moving energy isn't necessarily... I just don't feel like it feels heavy, and it also feels like it's sort of not... This Eight of Cups feels like it's moving more smoothly and much more quickly by the week's end. Does that make sense? And then this surrender to the sweetness, it's like, I would say, utilizing this card throughout the week, find the things that bring you joy. Find the things that bring you pleasure, even if you're stressing or worried about a decision or feeling like trapped in something. What is it that makes you happiest? Pursue that is what I feel like these cards are saying. And there might be this fighting amongst practicality, right? With this Four of Swords or this Four of Rings that is saying like, no, you can't do that. You need to, be smart about this. You need to, that might be some of that energy too. But there's a way, I feel like this Four of Pentacles energy, there's a way to sort of, how do I want to say this? Like be smart about what we're doing and be methodical, yet also kind of give way for ourselves to reach whatever it is our goal may be, right? It's like, to me, this is usually depicted by that man, like holding, like he's got his feet on one pentacle and the other one he's holding close to his chest. Like, so there's this idea, I don't get that feeling with this. I do feel like they're a little bit bogged down in the sand. That's that slower moving earth energy, but I feel like they are moving forward. I just feel like there's too much stress and worry about not only the past, but also what could potentially happen in the future. And it's like, we need to let go of all of that and just fucking move forward. And that's what this Eight of Cups represents to me, is the ability, like it says, new direction or walking away. So if we're walking away from something that no longer brings us joy, that's acceptable. That's okay. That's this surrender to the sweetness. Like, where is your happiness? Where is your joy? Like, it's almost like, if anything that we've learned in the last few months is nothing is guaranteed, right? So God knows where we could be a few months from now, right? And so if we're not pursuing this sweetness of life, this joy, and this is similar to some of the other cards we've seen where this your life is a canvas card, and all of these cards that feel like we're moving towards something, or we need to be moving towards something. If we're trying to stay sort of in what we deemed to be normal prior to, say, COVID and the protests and all of the craziness that's going on, it's not going to stay that way. That's just my feeling. And so we need to find what brings us joy, what brings us happiness. Where's the sweetness in life? Where's the beauty? Where's the love, right? That's that Venus energy and this surrender to the sweetness card. All right, let me see what the grounding stone is. What do we need to ground in this week? Okay, so the grounding stone is clarity. So it's funny that this stone to me feels like it is on, like when you look at this stone, and this is not normally how I feel, but it's funny that the word is clarity, yet it's on this marble with all of these sort of gray striations or webs through it. To me, it feels like clarity might be a struggle for some of you this week, especially with this Eight of Swords energy going on. but the focus is we want to ground in that clarity. When I feel like this is when I look at this stone, also the whiteness of the marble takes me to the higher chakras for some reason, also to the world of spirit. Maybe connecting to that or trying to trust that, trusting our own spirit. Finding that clarity within ourselves might be hard to do, especially with this Eight of Swords and we have this Four of Rings. This Eight of Cups, though, to me feels like us maybe by the week's end actually finding that spiritual connection or that higher self connection that we need. But what we need to be doing, again, is like this surrendering to the sweetness, finding that love energy within us, finding that love for ourselves, finding that clarity. What is it that we want? What is it that we need? What is it that puts a smile on our face? Right? Like those are the things that we should be pursuing at this time, is kind of my feeling. And we need to be clear about that. The clearer we are about that, or the more clarity we have around that, and the more that we ground into that, the easier it is to sort of move towards that. It will get easier by week's end, I feel like, for you guys, especially with this Eight of Cups. You know, there might be new opportunities, new pathways, just new things that you didn't see sort of as possible, opening themselves up to you. So keep an eye out for that. But for those of you that tend to be more, you know, if you're an earth sign or an air sign and you're watching this, I would be careful with your thoughts if you're air. I would be careful with your practicality if you're earth, because it feels like the early parts of the week you guys might be struggling a little bit more or fighting things a little bit more. And that's just sort of it's not like set in stone, but I'm just saying that you guys are naturally predisposed to this Eight of Swords energy or this Four of Pentacles energy. So if those things, you guys might struggle with it just slightly more or feel it a little bit deeper because it's what's familiar to you, right? Like my Geminis may want to worry a little bit more in the early part of the week, or my Tauruses may want to not budge so much during the midweek. But you guys need to budge, you need to move, you need to be in clarity, you need to be focused on what brings you joy and the sweetness in life. You know, it's like that card, like I said, your life is a canvas. Right now we're in a place, we're still in this place of, even though the world's opening back up, we're still in this place where we get to utilize love and the energy of love to direct us in a way so that we can create clarity around what it is we want and then hopefully work towards that. I feel like that's sort of the message in this reading for the week. So we'll see where these cards take us this week. I'm excited to see how that's going to work. And beyond that, I think that's your reading for today. I hope it makes sense. Please leave me a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. Let me know what you think. Again, this is for a lot of people, so if it doesn't make any sense to you, that's okay. It may not be in line with where you're at this week, but for those of you that find yourself a little bit worried, things will get better by week's end. Focus on the sweetness, ground in your clarity as best you can, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, thank you and have a good day. I love you. Bye-bye.